Hello guys, NazyG here, back with game number 2 from the best of 5 series between EmpireKas and MTW's Dimaga. Now, Kas is spawning as a red Terran on the bottom left of Tal'Darim Altar, and bottom right blue Zerg is MTW's Dimaga. The first game was an extremely short game. Dimaga went for a 6 pool on Shakura's Plateau, which actually I agree with. I thought that was the right decision to go for a 6 pool because it was, even though it was the opening game of his series with Kas, I still think that he needed to put on the pressure that kept Kas wary of what Dimaga was going to do later on. And Shakura's Plateau is a pretty short rush distance, so the 6 pool was it was pretty effective, but Kas managed to hold it off well enough to just hold on. I think he had 1 Marine and 4 or 5 SCVs in the end, so it wasn't all in by Dimaga, sorry, but it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would. I thought that Kas would definitely get crushed, but Kas clearly seemed to hold it off, so good on him. Unlucky for Dimaga. I did kind of want Dimaga to win. I do enjoy watching 6 pools, but I also enjoy watching macro games, which I'm hoping on Tal'Darim Altar being a gigantic map, we are going to see these two players macro up, get massive armies, and go head to head in crazy engagements. Because Tal'Darim Altar, usually you'll see people fast expanding to this location. It's very easily defensible. Obviously you've got a very nice choke here which you can cut off your enemy and defend it quite easily, but the third is an issue because you've got these rocks here. So if you want to double expand, as I've seen sub players do on other versions of the map without the rocks, it's going to be quite difficult. This is what I wanted to see from Kas. This is good. This makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. Seeing players sticking down early expos, knowing that the opponent isn't going to be rushing them. That's it shows that they've anticipated that their opponent isn't going to be rushing them, and Kas clearly feels that it's better for him to expand before he gets racks. So he expanded before I'll just get the production tab and the name tab up. He actually expanded before he stuck his racks down, so he's very confident that he's not going to get rushed. And Dimaga, however, got his hatchery. However, I shouldn't have said however, because Dimaga actually followed the same sort of route. He got his hatch first and then he got his spawning pool, clearly because he scattered out and he saw, okay, there's no racks going down at the normal time, he's probably going to fast expand, so there's not going to be any early pressure, so I could stick my own expo down. As the Zerg, you don't want to be behind one base against Terran. That's not really the place you want to be. So if you're wondering why he stuck this command center in the wall, it's just, if you're going to be getting a command center, you might as well get it somewhere where it's going to help and not hinder you. So sticking it in the wall is one of those places, because obviously it's got 1500 HP, so any Zerglings or early pressure or roaches or things like that aren't going to be able to do too much to it. So it's basically you stick a Marine behind it and any Zergling pressure early on is null and void. But clearly in this game there's not going to be any early Zergling pressure. I'm actually expecting to see Reactor Hellions from Kas, because obviously he's got a factory and reactor, and he sees that Dimaga also hasn't got that many units, so he would probably be thinking that they were both going to be macroing up. We're both going to be going for really good economy in the late game. So what you want to do is get the lead by harassing and killing off as many workers as you can with these Hellions. But obviously with 2 queens, the Hellion harass really isn't going to be as effective as Kas would have hoped it to be. But we'll find out, I guess, if he uses the Hellions to their full potential. But you don't want to make too many Hellions. You don't want to overproduce them, because Hellions late game, I mean, they're like sticks. They break like sticks. You could basically like prod them and they'll break. They've got 90 HP, but late game, I mean, roaches are basically the hard counter to Hellions. I think Hellions only do like 8 damage and they shoot really slowly. So get a couple roaches out and all Hellion harass is pretty much shut down. And Kas actually held off before he lifted off his command center, maybe just getting a bit wary, saying, okay, I don't really have the number of units I need to defend this yet, so maybe he was just holding off till he felt safe enough to expand, got that bunker up, getting a Marine inside there just to feel safer to expand into his natural. But what I really want to see is, Dimaga, working on these rocks here to get his third, so that he can get the economic lead on Kas, because right now Kas with his mules is probably going to be even. Yeah, see, Kas, he's staying even with Dimaga, even though this base isn't fully saturated, whereas Dimaga's base is natural is already fully saturated, and his main is yeah, it's fully saturated as well. So these mules are really keeping Kas in the run for the economy. But what would really take Dimaga, yeah, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him take a fast third, so that we could see a more macro-orientated game, more gigantic armies. You know, everyone likes seeing gigantic battles, especially when pros play them. There's so many interesting ways you can learn from them. But yeah, also another thing about this map, Tal'Darim Altar, is it's doesn't look like the best map for early rushes, because it isn't. I mean, if you spawn cross spawn, you've got a huge rush distance. You've got to go all the way up here to get to your enemy's base. But what I do want to see from Dimaga is actually Mutalisks, because Mutalisks would be extremely effective in this spawn location, because most of Kas's forces will be concentrated on defending his choke at his natural, and Mutalisks don't have, it's a relatively long fly distance, but then again your SCVs in your main are extremely unprotected, and they're vulnerable to attack. So I would really like to see Mutalisks from Kas. But oh, I do actually see Banshees coming out. This is obviously the Terran's version of Mutalisk, I guess you could call it that. They can't really attack air, and they're not very quick. But Kas opting to go for attempted harass with his Banshees, so we'll see how this goes. He wants to try and do some economic damage, because if Dimaga's taken a third, he will start to pull ahead regardless of how many mules you use. So you really want to try and do as much damage to the Zerg economy as possible before you decide on expanding again. So yeah, we got the cloaked Banshees coming in. Does Dimaga actually have an Overseer? He's morphing in an Overseer right now. He's morphing 2 in, kind of in panic, I guess. And Kas is really disrupting this worker line, and he's actually taken out a Queen, and he could just snipe. Oh, good transfuse there, saving the Queen. But that Queen is actually going to go down, and you need to get that Banshee out. That Banshee goes down. A huge number of Zergling kills on these lots and lots of blood. Those Hellions really proving to be helpful. And Kas is kind of pinned down. He's got his Spire just finishing, so he's gonna need to get some Mutalisks out ASAP and take care of this Banshee, because right now it's just being a nuisance. I do like the Baneling Nest from Dimaga, but to be really effective, you need to engage the Terran in a bad position, and right now I don't think that Kas has enough Marines to make the Banelings as effective. Maybe he's going for a Baneling bust, but to be honest, I mean, if you're going Mutalisks, Baneling bust is not as effective. You don't have enough ground units to justify breaking down, spending all those resources on Banelings to break down their wall. But nonetheless, he's going for Banelings, so we'll have to see how much he goes for the Banelings. Just going to Dimaga's view, because I just love watching pro players play. I mean, APM is incredible. It's crazy, but yep, it's always interesting. Got this Banshee chilling here, recharging its energy. Got a little Changeling Marine there. So the Banshee harass was quite effective, I think. I'll see how many workers killed. We actually have 12 to 1. 12 workers killed. That's pretty effective, even though the Zerg's ability to drone up is pretty incredible.